I'm Matthew Moniz, and today I'm comparing three of the hottest smartphones on the market right now: the Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge, the Google Pixel XL, and the iPhone 7 Plus. If you're up for a new phone, I guarantee you're probably looking at one of these three as your next smartphone. So I hope this video helps you decide which one is the best for you. Design has always been a subjective thing, so everyone's opinion is going to be different. But if you want to pick the product that has pushed design innovation the most, it's definitely the Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge. The small bezels, the curved back, and Edge display make it a lot easier to hold compared to the bigger Pixel and larger iPhone 7 Plus. Now they all share the same screen size, but the S7 Edge is much smaller to hold in the hand, and the Pixel uses a traditional design that we've seen on most phones, but sticks out by using glass on the upper part of its back, while the iPhone uses the same design it's been using over the last 3 years. The Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge and iPhone 7 Plus are both water resistant. However, the Galaxy S7 Edge has an IP certification of 68, while the 7 Plus is at 67. So it's going to do a little bit better underwater, but both phones are fine if you accidentally drop it in a puddle or if you're out in the rain. Now the Google Pixel XL is not water resistant at all, so that's something to keep in mind when you're considering all three phones. Now the funny thing is all three phones have their own connection. So the S7 Edge is using a micro USB port, the iPhone 7 Plus has their own proprietary connector, which is the Lightning port, and the Pixel XL is using the new standard, which is USB Type-C. All three phones have a fingerprint scanner. The Pixel XL has it on the back, while the iPhone 7 Plus and Galaxy S7 Edge have it on the front. Now they're all fast, they're all accurate, and there's nothing really to complain about. The only thing I do want to mention is that the Pixel XL has the perk of being able to swipe the fingerprint sensor in order to bring the notification menu up or down. So for the design round, I'm definitely giving it to the Galaxy S7 Edge. Samsung continues to push design innovation forward. The S7 Edge has a beautiful curved display. It's a lot easier to hold since the bezels are smaller, and it has the best water resistance. All three phones have a 5.5-inch display, but that's where the similarities end. The iPhone 7 Plus has a 1080p IPS display, the Google Pixel a QHD AMOLED display, and the Galaxy S7 Edge has a Super AMOLED one along with an always-on display. The S7 Edge definitely gets the brightest and is the most vibrant out of the three. Colors pop a lot more, bringing whatever you're looking at to life. The Pixel has exaggerated colors too, but not to the extent of the S7 Edge. However, if color accuracy is the most important to you, then the iPhone 7 Plus is what you want. I personally found the display on the iPhone is best for reading and browsing the web, but watching movies and looking at pictures are much more enjoyable on the AMOLED panels. I'm going to give the winner to the Galaxy S7 Edge. Technically, it should be a tie between the iPhone 7 Plus and Galaxy S7 Edge because some people will prefer that vibrant display over a color accurate one and vice versa, but I personally think the S7 Edge has a better display. It's brighter, colors are more vibrant, the blacks are true, it's a lot more energy efficient, and you're able to make bezels smaller on a smartphone with an OLED display compared to an IPS panel. When it comes to sound, the Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge has the worst speakers out of all three. It's on the bottom, and because it's water resistant, there is a coating over it, which makes the sound tingy. The Pixel XL also has a speaker on the bottom, but there's no coating, so the sound quality is actually not that bad for a mono speaker. But the best speaker system goes to the iPhone 7 Plus because it has dual stereo speakers. There's one speaker on the bottom, and there's one speaker that is combined with the earpiece. So you're gonna get pretty good sound. Now it's not as good as having two front-facing speakers, but it's definitely a good compromise. So for this round, I'm going to give it to the iPhone 7 Plus. It definitely has the best sound out of all three phones, with the Google Pixel coming in second and the Galaxy S7 Edge in third. Now some of you might argue because the iPhone doesn't have a headphone jack, it might be a disadvantage. But to be honest, it hasn't bothered me, and I've been using the iPhone for quite some time now. Now, if you have an iPhone 7 or 7 Plus, let me know how it's been not having a headphone jack and if it's caused any problems for you. So the iPhone 7 Plus is using Apple's A10 Fusion chip, while the Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge, I'm using the Canadian version, has an Exynos 8890, and the Google Pixel XL is using the brand new Snapdragon 821. Now, if you value benchmarks, the 7 Plus completely crushes both phones in terms of raw performance. And even though the 8890 benchmarks better than the Snapdragon 821, the Pixel is much more fluid than the S7 Edge. This is mainly due to the optimization Google was able to do by designing its own hardware. The Pixel is by far the smoothest and most fluid Android phone I've ever used. But the iPhone 7 Plus is still the smoothest. Apple has had a lot more time and more experience tweaking their software to work with their phone compared to the competition. So for the performance round, the winner is the iPhone 7 Plus. I'm not going to talk about the pros and cons of iOS versus Android. They're both fantastic in their own unique way. But I will say this, if you want the best Android experience, check out the Google Pixel XL. There's no theming, there's no bloatware, it's a lot more secure, and you get updates right away. This is something that the Galaxy S7 Edge and all the other OEM vendors will continue to suffer from. Also, even though TouchWiz has gotten a lot better, I still get the odd stutter or lag, and I find myself going into memory and have to clearing it or even wiping my cache every once in a while. So for the software round, I'm going to give it a tie between the iPhone 7 Plus and the Google Pixel XL. The cameras in all three of these phones are amazing. These are the top 3 cameras you can get right now in a smartphone. They all have a 12 megapixel sensor on the back, with the iPhone having a second one that allows you to zoom in up to 2 times. They all have very low apertures, with the difference being very small, and they all take amazing photos. Now, I personally think the Galaxy S7 Edge has the most oversaturated photos, where the Google Pixel XL still oversaturates them, but not to the degree of the S7 Edge, whereas the iPhone 7 Plus tended to make the photos to look a lot more natural. Now, my personal favorite is the Pixel XL. I think it takes the best photos, but everyone is going to have a different opinion. Now, all cameras shoot 4K video. The iPhone 7 Plus and S7 Edge both have optical image stabilization. The Google Pixel XL relies on electronic, but also uses the gyroscope to help stabilize the video, which does a fantastic job. Now, because all 3 cameras offer a slightly different favor, but all take amazing photos, I'm gonna give this round a tie. But if you're curious to which one my favorite camera is, I'm definitely gonna say the iPhone 7 Plus, only because of that second lens. It allows me to zoom in up to 2 times, which I found myself actually using quite often. And last up is the battery life. And the iPhone 7 Plus has the smallest battery with a 2900 milliamp battery, but it doesn't offer wireless charging and doesn't offer fast charging. The Google Pixel XL has a bigger battery at 3400 milliamps, which also doesn't offer wireless charging, but it does have quick charging. And finally, the Galaxy S7 Edge has both wireless charging and fast charging, along with the biggest battery at 3600 milliamps, and because it's using the Exynos 8890, it gets much better battery life than the Snapdragon 820 equivalent. So in terms of battery life, I was getting the best battery life with the iPhone 7 Plus, followed by the Galaxy S7 Edge, where I was averaging around 5 hours of screen on time, and with the Google Pixel XL, I was only getting 4 hours of screen on time before needing a charge. I'm still gonna say it's the Galaxy S7 Edge because the battery life was still amazing, and you also get the added benefit of being able to wirelessly charge your device and fast charge it as well. All right, so here's my closing thoughts. All 3 of these phones are absolutely fantastic, and if you have one of them already, you're probably really enjoying it. But I think if you're up for a brand new smartphone today and you want a premium smartphone, the only phones you should be considering right now is the iPhone or the Google Pixel XL. The iPhone, for the reason being there's only one iPhone to choose from, and the Google Pixel XL is because it's the first Android phone that offers the most fluid experience. Google has done a fantastic job of tweaking its software to run on its hardware. Now, don't get me wrong, having wireless charging, a thinner design, and a little bit better water distance is great, but I personally don't think it compares to having the total experience, which I think the Google Pixel XL does a better job of. So that wraps up my comparison of all 3 phones. I want to hear what you guys have to say in the comments below. Which one is your favorite phone and why? Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, feel free to hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. And as always, I will see you in the next video.